Hello, I'm Benjamin Cummings. We're here today with Ross Riskin, CPA, PFS, and Certified College Financial Consultant. Good to have you with us.
Thanks for having me, Benjamin.
We're going to talk about loan forgiveness, student loan forgiveness. So just to help set the stage, is there one type of loan forgiveness?
There's actually many different types of loan forgiveness. So I'll talk a little bit about the two most popular ones out there. So one of them is coming from these income-driven repayment plans, where there's various ones out there. The four most popular ones are ICR, income contingent repayment, IBR, income-based repayment, and that actually has two subsets. There's one for old borrowers and new borrowers. Pay-as-you-earn, P-A-Y-E, and revised pay-as-you-earn for newer borrowers. So,
oh boy,
this financial aid and student loans is just a world of acronyms all over the place. But there is potential for loan forgiveness there. So those plans, what they do is they actually base your payment related to what your income is. So it actually takes your AGI minus either 100% or 150% of the poverty level for your family size, and it multiplies either 15% or 10% times that. Essentially, your payment is related to your income. So if your income increases, your payment will increase. The repayment terms for those vary either 20 or 25 years, but at the end of that repayment period, if you have any balance remaining, it ends up being forgiven. However, it's not a tax-free forgiveness as it stands right now. So you will have a lump sum tax bill at the end of those 20 or 25 years if you have a balance. So students and borrowers shouldn't be looking at that as, oh, it's forgiveness, I'm in the clear. No, you actually technically should be saving now for that lump sum tax bill in 20 to 25 years. So it's something as advisors we want to make sure that they're doing that or setting some money aside from the savings that they're getting right now by being in one of those repayment plans.
Yeah, that's very great to know. So you mentioned two main types. Is there the other type?
Yeah, definitely. So that's the forgiveness from those income-driven repayment plans. There's also something called public service loan forgiveness. So this has been talked about in the news lately because this past October is actually the first time that borrowers were eligible to apply for it because the program started in 2007. So it's that 10-year mark. So under the public service loan forgiveness, if you work for a qualifying public service organization making the equivalent of 10 years of payments on time, then if you make the payments on time and you apply for forgiveness while you're still working at that institution, and when you receive the forgiveness, it ends up being tax-free. So you're actually able to accelerate the forgiveness by 10 or 15 years, and there's no tax bill at the end. So it's a very attractive feature.
Yeah, that's nice.
Very attractive. So there are a couple pitfalls of that, as we're seeing in the news, of certain people are applying and they thought they qualified for forgiveness, and it's turning out that they didn't because the rules are very convoluted. There's very complicated what's going on with those because you have to make sure that, number one, your loans are even eligible. So there may be some borrowers who took out loans under the FFEL program that those aren't eligible for public service loan forgiveness, and they thought that they were on that path. Also, you have to look at, well, what repayment plan are they on? Because some people may be on an extended or a graduated repayment plan that were popular many years ago and still are popular. Those don't qualify either. So it's important to note those different things when going through the process to determine eligibility. And also the last one would be, are they working at a qualifying organization? So that's come under scrutiny too. You know, maybe they're working at a not-for-profit. Does it count as under this qualifying public service organization? So there's a lot of things involved with the public service loan forgiveness side.
Are there differences between private student loans and federal student loans as it relates to forgiveness that people should know about too?
Yeah, definitely. All those benefits I just talked about are only on the federal student loan side. Currently, there are no forgiveness programs for private student loans. So people need to be aware that either if they're taking out private loans to begin with to pay for school, or if they're considering consolidating their private student loans with their federal student loans. If they do that, all those federal loan benefits are lost. So they can't participate in those repayment programs. They can't apply for the forbearance or deferment on their loans if they need be. They lose all interest subsidization, and they lose the favorability from a death and disability discharge provision as well.
Wow, that's very good information to have. So how does an advisor help clients navigate the loan forgiveness process and whether or not they should be considering it?
Yeah, it's very difficult. So a lot of advisors may be weary about that because it may sound like, oh, well, we're banking on something that may happen 20 or 25 years from now. I would say that it may be more difficult to plan for the public service loan forgiveness because you may have individuals that say, okay, I'm going to go work for this organization. I can make it there 10 years, and 1 year in or 5 years in, they say, I can't do this. So that's why it's important to make sure that they are on another type of repayment plan, like an IBR, income-based repayment plan, or a pay-as-you-earn plan. So even if they're not going to get that public service loan forgiveness, they still are on track towards another type of forgiveness down the road. So it's important for them to really talk with their clients and figure out, well, what are their career aspirations? What's going on with them getting married? That's actually a very big topic of conversation I'm having with clients these days who are looking at different repayment plans, because believe it or not, marital status can actually determine the payment on some of these repayment plans. So the difference between income-based repayment and the revised pay-as-you-earn plan. So it's crazy how intricate these are, but it reinforces the fact that advisors need to work with their clients every year looking at this. So from both the student loan perspective of what's the payment, what does it look like they're going to be paying over the life of the loan, but also from the tax planning perspective, right? So married filing jointly versus married filing separately. So there may be some tax savings lost if we choose to do married filing separately. So it's multifaceted, very confusing. A lot of people out there need advice, but a lot of advisors need to educate themselves in this area as well.
Yeah, this is great information today. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.